Milestone's annual Motorcycle Grand Prix game has moved from its usual April release slot to June this year, but has the Italian studio made the most of these extra 2 months? With a bigger emphasis on career mode and overall depth, has MotoGP 23 made enough big steps since last year's MotoGP 22? And what about the experience as a whole? Let's find out. I'm Mark from RacingGames, and here's our review of MotoGP 23. MotoGP 22 placed a lot of emphasis on its 9 career mode. Sadly, this hasn't returned this year, nor has a similar game mode taken its place. However, Milestone has put serious work into the regular career mode to make up for this. The whole experience feels truer to life, with your actions impacting other teams and drivers more than ever before. As impressive as MotoGP has been over the past few years, the core experience of career mode hadn't changed a whole lot. However, you will notice that things are different right from the off here as you're thrust straight into the action. Ahead of Moto3 races in Malaysia and Qatar, you'll need to respond to your rival via a social media feed dubbed the MotoGP Wall. With the championship out of sight, your goal is to finish ahead of your rival in the standings. This is an ideal way to introduce a beginner to MotoGP 23 and sets the scene for what is an exciting single-player experience. Other new features include turning points and social rivalries. Via the aforementioned MotoGP Wall, you can either form alliances or stoke rivalries via the digital world. The responses you give to other riders' messages will either improve or deteriorate your relationships with them. This translates to how the riders race you out on track, so you may need to watch what you say. In an age where social media is king, this is a great feature to add to the world of MotoGP. There's also a new level system in which you'll climb from rookie to champion, giving a great sense of progression, especially with the reward system which accompanies it. Depending on how you perform, you'll be promoted to either Moto2 or straight to MotoGP for your second season. With one notable exception, the overall gameplay is largely the same as last year's MotoGP 22. That's not a criticism, however, as MotoGP 23 is comfortably one of the best bike games in terms of both handling and graphics currently available on the market. To Milestone's credit, the menus are a lot sleeker than before, and the HUD while you're racing has been given a fresh lick of paint. When you get on the podium, the celebrations are better too, as are the cutscenes when you join a new team. The biggest addition to the gameplay for MotoGP 23 is easily the dynamic weather. A lot of racing games have had this for a long time, but this is the first MotoGP game to feature a dynamic weather system. Rain can start at any point, leading to all of the drivers being called into the pits to switch tyres. This is the very definition of throwing a spanner into the works during a race, and you'll have to be very careful not to slide off the circuit when the rains start falling. Something else that has gone relatively under the radar is the introduction of sprint races. Just like in real life, MotoGP 23 has sprint races to spice up the action even more during a race weekend. Nothing's more exciting than a double race weekend, so to have sprints added this year just adds to the fun. MotoGP 23 has upped its game when it comes to the number of circuits included too. The entire 2023 MotoGP calendar is in from launch, including the now cancelled Kazakh Grand Prix. India makes its debut in the game as well, and tracks like Aragon, Estoril, Donington and all those from MotoGP 22 are in MotoGP 23 as historical circuits. As usual, all riders and teams are also present from launch. MotoGP 23 continues to be impressively accessible too, thanks to its MotoGP Academy. If you're struggling around a certain circuit or specific section of track, you can practice it in the Academy. This is available for every circuit and for every bike within the game. MotoGP 23 joins the ever-growing list of racing titles adding driving or riding schools to their games, and it's great to see it integrated so well. Players can now perfect tracks far more easily, meaning there are now less excuses for crashing on the final corner with the victory in sight. Milestone has produced the goods yet again with this year's MotoGP game. Nobody knows motorcycles like the Italian developers, and MotoGP 23 once again proves this. Some will inevitably be disappointed with the omission of 9, and the lack of progress in some areas of the gameplay. But despite this, MotoGP 23 mostly makes up for this with marked improvements to the overall experience in career mode and other gameplay elements. The large amount of content available will have us enjoying MotoGP 23 all the way until the release of MotoGP 24 next year. If you haven't already, are you looking forward to getting stuck into MotoGP 23? Let us know down below, and why not let us know your thoughts on the game too while you're there. Oh, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for all things racing games. For now though, thanks for watching. I've been Mark from RacingGames, and we'll catch you here on the channel for another video soon.